Hi, I'm cabaret singer Katie McGrath, and it's award season, as you might know. And there's something special about getting recognition from your peers who aren't also your cousins or your teachers or your neighbors. And that's why Lina Koutrakis is so excited about the recognition she's receiving from the Chicago Cabaret Professionals as their national honoree for 2019. They picked her because of her decade and more of commitment to teaching, performing, and directing there, and I'm excited for her too. We sat down to talk the other day about that, as well as her new website and life in general. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. So tell me about the big things going on right now. I want to start with, because I know you won't, I want to start with your award from Chicago.
Yeah, from Chicago.
And the name of the organization
is the Chicago Cabaret Professionals.
So these are all the people we know and love in Chicago, as well as their audience.
Exactly. I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere for me. Somebody called and said that the Chicago Cabaret Professionals had decided to honor me with the what is it? National Honoree Award.
Wow.
From them. And I was like, well, first of all, I love it. I love being chosen for anything. I think it's fabulous. But I was like, for what? For what? And basically, they are giving me the award for being a singer who is trying to pass down what I might have learned or not learned along the way in a teaching form, and that this summer will be the 10th year that I have done the Midwest Cabaret Conference in Chicago. And one of my friends who was on the committee said, we want to thank you for being a huge part of bringing education in cabaret to Chicago. So I was like, okay.
I accept.
I do accept. You know, there's something kind of cooler about getting it. And look, I live in the best city in the world. I live in New York City. Not the best city, but, well,
I think it's the best.
Okay. It's my city. But there's something a little bit cooler to me about getting an award from a city where I'm not on the scene every day. You know what I mean? It feels great. I'm thrilled. I am definitely honored. So.
I like it that it's a big enough part of the music experience in Chicago that they have something of that stature or that substance.
Right.
You know? And they've recognized other fantastic people over the years.
People whose company I am proud to be in. I know K.T. Sullivan. One, if not two, of the Callaways. I'm in ridiculously lovely company. That feels nice. Great. Yeah,
that's nice. Is. And while you're still a living legend.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, I'm still a walking legend.
Still a walking legend.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, golly. So there's been rumors about you picking something fabulous to wear. How is that going?
I was going to talk to you about it. I was going to say, okay, so there's two other great things about it. I get to sing a 3-song set with my acceptance speech at the Park West in Chicago with a trio, and my friend Becky Menzie heading that trio up. So I am thrilled. I'm beside myself. I get to walk out on stage and sing. Yeah, I love it. I love that they're giving me the award for teaching and education, and they are honoring at the same time that the reason I do that is because I'm a singer. I love that. I don't want to forget that I'm a singer when I'm lucky enough to be so busy directing and teaching. And that usually always falls on me to make sure I remind myself that I'm a singer also. I love that they're reminding me that I'm a singer. That's nice.
That is nice.
Yeah.
So what about the dress?
Okay, the dress is a pain in the neck because the Chicago Cabaret Professional Gala that happens every year, which is what this is a very high level and formal thing. And I thought, oh my God, besides a wedding dress, which
Yeah.
I wore when I was in my 20s, and the minute my boyfriend does propose, though I will say yes, I will not be wearing a gown again.
yeah,
So
yeah.
this is my only other gown
Yeah.
moment. And I can't find a gown to save my life.
Could perhaps one of the previous recipients give you their gala gown?
I didn't think of that. Let me ask KT Sullivan
Yeah.
if she has, as our styles are so very similar.
Right. Well, you know, I wear size 10 shoes too.
Okay, the shoes I'll take from
the
you.
shoes, right. That might be good. Well, I know that's going to be.
Now everybody knows that we have Bigfoot feet.
I think they're statuesque feet.
We have statuesque feet. Okay.
So the other thing that I know that's new is for you, and I just really like it. You have a new website, linasings.com, and the reason I like it so much is because it's going through it is like having a conversation with you and
good,
finding out
good.
what's new. Well, I'm doing this, and then I'm doing this, and this, and this, and they all seem to go together around the two legs of performing and teaching, if you consider directing part of the teaching.
I think so.
Ish?
I think I
Or
kind of
that's
do.
kind of the blend of
Maybe.
the two.
Maybe that's the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always been a pain in the neck, the website idea. And for a while, I had some nice websites. I had a teaching website, I had a directing website, I had a singing website. I also have spent the majority of my performance career with a rock and roll band in rock and roll clubs and getting a lot of notoriety with that. And then just with the piano or unplugged in the cabaret rooms at the same time. So there was a rock and roll website so as
Jeez.
not to confuse people with me being a cabaret singer and vice versa. So it was my guy who said, but at this point you're the sum of your parts, so let's do a website, and if people just want to hire you, they can go right to your director or teaching
Right.
page.
I love that.
And if they want to listen to you sing and think, now why should I hire her? Does she have any credibility as a performer? They can. It is all Lina all the time on that website, but I got, while putting it together for 6 months, the chance to see my body of work.
Yeah, pretty cool.
And I realized that a lot of my students and clients in the last decade or so, they don't have any idea what I did or what I can do. And it was fun to say, hey, you know, listen, we're not rich and famous people. I always thought I was going to be a rich and famous person. So the accolades and the pat on the back and the raises and the retirement pay and the 401ks, you have to find that yourself, you know? Yeah. And kind of putting that all on paper, well, on the internet, was sort of a way of me looking at it and saying, yeah, you have lived your life this way. And it's notable. And I'm proud. So I'm going to get my gold watch someday. And I got about $20 in my 401k.
It's a start.
Yeah.
You're healthy.
Yeah. But
right?
It feels good to have seen it. So I'm very proud of the site.
Your directing is usually directing one singer in a show.
Right.
But it's been a while since you've done a one-woman show, right?
You're asking me, yeah. Yes, it has. I think the last, except for my band, which I did for 20 years and haven't done in the last 3 and change, Cabaret one-woman show, I think was over 12 years ago when I did Torch with Rick Jensen, which was really successful and I loved so much. That was a great moment. So now, you know, I have to do something equally as wonderful. And you know the truth, I'm really, really grateful to be super, super busy. I have excellent and talented and brilliant clients I get to work with. And I get to teach all over the place. And I love it so much more than I thought I ever would. But I have to carve out a little bit of time right now to do something creative a la one-woman show, which I have great ideas for. But what I need is me. I need a Lina Koutrakis in a directorial sort of position to kind of hold my hand and help me through it. And I, just decided to go right to the top and ask Scott Whitman if he would direct me about a year and a half ago. And he was lovely and wrote back to me and said, "Oh, Lina, I would adore that, but I think I'm going to get a little bit busy this year and I'm on the West Coast." And then I saw that he wrote Mary Poppins. So I got it. I got it. But I love my reach.
Well, yes.
I'm bold.
Yes, and then you got a yes, but answer.
Right. He's a little busy.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I've seen you perform with Marcus Semien and Sean Harkness.
Yeah.
That's really fun.
Yeah, that's really fun.
I saw the episode 1, season 2
right.
a few weeks
You did.
ago.
Very
And there's
good.
another one coming up this weekend?
October 30th.
October 30th.
Yes,
Okay.
that's our full-length show at Don't Tell Mamas. And then on the 31st, we're singing a song at Lincoln Center for the Cabaret convention.
I need to know. That's so exciting.
I'm not telling.
I don't blame you.
It's the song that K.T. Sullivan asked us to sing.
Well, how about that?
How about that? Yeah, I'm excited.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just go. Just come to that, I suppose. Maybe you can wear your gown.
Oh, you know what? If I find one, I'm going to wear it every night
That's
from
good.
the gala on out.
That's good. Oh, and how does I know how busy you are as a director because you're my director, and I know you're frequently running from studio to studio.
Frequently. Yeah.
And how does that satisfy you?
Golly, when I'm running from place to place, and for the last month, I have been almost overworking.
Yeah.
So I'm grumbling going from place to place. It's the worst part of the city too, is getting from place to place. So that's a pain in the neck. And then all of a sudden I sit down and I think, oh my God, this is what I do with my days. Not only do I make a living at it, which is wonderful, but this is how I spend my days, with creative people, with talented people, with collaborators, with musicians. I don't know, but I bet you $1 million if I didn't do it for 4 weeks, the empty part would be gigantic, and then I'd be able to answer that question. Yeah, I don't know. I'm lucky.
So what was your trajectory? At what point did you start out thinking, I'm just a kid and this is just my life, to I'm not a kid, I'm a star, and I'm going to be a singer, and I'm going to be an entertainer?
Katie, I knew that I was a singer the minute I knew anything. We used to lie in our beds, my sister and I, she was 2.5 years younger than me, both our beds. And when I wasn't browbeating her into learning a harmony part, browbeating the poor girl, to learn a harmony part, she would lie in bed and say, "You're so lucky. You know what you're going to be when you grow up. I don't know what I'm going to be." Wow. And we'd have those conversations throughout the years. And I used to get jealous of her sometimes and say, "No, it isn't lucky. What if I want to fantasize about being a teacher? I can't, because I'm a singer." I heard my voice, so I knew I was a singer, and obviously I want to do it. So always I've been a singer. The surprising part is that I didn't get as famous as Elvis Presley, because I never questioned that I would just work hard, sing everywhere I went, and that, of course, would fall into place. Nobody told me about that part.
I was talking with our mutual friend, Dorian Woodruff, about Barry Manilow, whom he and I both love, and we're going to tie you up and make you let us do a show of his music. But anyway.
I'm okay about that.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Oh, Dorian, this is great news. He had such humble, desperately humble beginnings.
Yeah.
And it was just such not even a full step, a teeny tiny half step forward. And I thought, how could you continue to have faith in yourself when you're in the dream, when you're going from Paducah to a smaller town, it's hard to understand how the drive works.
First of all, it's not about money. It's not about anything materialistic. So you don't get reinforced in that way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I made a lot of money, I did a great show in Palookaville. You know, it doesn't work that way. I think it's not a drive, I think it's a hunger. And I have a friend of mine who's a psychologist, one of my dad's really, really dear friends who was like the top psychologist at Stony Brook University for years. And he's a great guy, a real street kind of person and a really learned psychologist. And one day, just recently, we're sitting in his apartment and he said, well, you know, I said it's half a blessing and a curse, this kind of artistic hunger or whatever, or just, you know, the horrible need to be in the spotlight. I made it beautiful. It may not be, but anyway, it's a blessing and a curse. And he said, no, it's my experience that it's simply a curse. It's so difficult. And I said, yes, but Fred, that is because you can't experience the blessing part. We stopped our conversation there, but it's the truth. There's no choice. There was no choice. There was no choice. The choice was to go to school and get a real job and sing at nights, but I had 4 real jobs when I was 22. I moved into this city and cleaned office buildings 3 nights a week after my day job and my weekend job.
See, that's not normal.
I think about it and I'm exhausted.
Oh.
It was supposed to pay off differently.
I understand, but when you say normal job,
Yeah.
most people think maybe 1.25 jobs.
Right, exactly.
So
Ugh.
we have to have a separate discussion
about that,
to
right.
reframe.
Yeah.
The St. George Theater, is that coming up in the future?
You know, there was a little rumor, which I think we said on stage the other night, because it had just happened a couple days before, that Marcus and Sean and I, we're calling ourselves Clearly now. We didn't know at the beginning if that was the name of the show or the name of us. We've decided it's the name of us.
Okay.
Sean Harkness on guitar, Marcus Semien, a magnificent singer, and me have a little trio. And we opened for Air Supply at the St. George Theater in Staten Island last fall. And they're talking to the St. George about coming back. And they said, and we could absolutely use the same opening act again. So
That's very nice.
we are now thinking, they asked for us.
They like us.
So yeah, we might get to do it again.
I wonder, would they let you sing Back Off for All Out of Love or one of their big hits?
They had no choice because we sat in the audience and sang anyway.
Along with everybody else.
Right?
Everyone loved them. I did.
They were great in
were
concert.
good.
Great.
Oh, you mean this year
Yeah.
when you did? Oh, how
Yeah.
fun.
I mean, I like Air Supply, but oh my goodness. You know, sometimes when you see people live, which is my favorite thing, I am a director and, you know, live stuff is fantastic. You know why people are famous, even if they're not your cup of tea? Because they got the goods. And then years later, I sit in the audience after opening for them and think, oh, you guys are great. It isn't just, I'm all out of love. They're great.
Back to Clearly now for
Yes.
just a second.
Yes.
One of the things I love about watching you 3 perform, and this was true when you had whether you were at Cutting Room with the big band and big production, or the 3 of you, and that is, it's that kind of warmth that you see with close families who have gotten together for Thanksgiving or something, and they're sitting next to each other on a couch.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's poking with elbows and laughing.
Right.
But this intensely loving situation is so obviously flowing through you guys. It's really remarkable to witness.
It is. It's remarkable to feel and to be able to do. You know, this is a million years ago. Johnny Rogers, singer, songwriter, piano player, incredibly talented guy, who was first my student and then my piano player and then my partner. I was his backup singer and he was my piano player in the band. And we did sort of a one night only kind of night at the Duplex a million years ago. And he was playing the piano. We were doing half his songs, and They were doing Half Mine, and the few we wrote together with a drummer and a guitar player. And Johnny was doing his bit, and I stood up against the wall at the duplex. The duplex seats about 90 people. It was an 11 o'clock at night show, so there was about 55, 60 people in the audience. The stage is black. I'm wearing black. I'm up against the black wall in the dark, and Johnny is singing. And I had an aha moment as a performer. I thought, I am one person in one little club on one Saturday night in the whole wide world making music. And at this moment, I'm just standing on the stage, not even making the music. And I thought I was the luckiest person in the world to be making the music with other people. So Sean, Marcus, and I don't miss a moment of it. I love that the audience is there, but for real, it has morphed for me from me, to that thing I have been given the gift of doing with other people. It's ridiculous. So I'm glad it shows.
I think it is luck.
Yeah, I do.
More luck than curse.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fred's wrong.
Fred's wrong.
Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, thanks, Katie.
I'm Katie McGrath, and I'll see you there.
LA proved too much for the man, so he's leaving life. He's come to know said he's going back to find what's left of his world, a world he left behind not so long ago. On that midnight train to Georgia, he said he's going back to find a simpler place and time. Oh yes, he is. I'll be with him on that midnight train to Georgia, 'cause I would rather live in his world than live without him in mine. He kept dreaming that someday he'd be a star, but he sure found out the hard way that dreams don't always come true. Oh no. So he pawned down his hopes. He even sold his old car. He bought a one-way ticket back to a life he once knew. Oh yes, he did. He said he would. Now he's leaving on that midnight train to Georgia. He said he's going back to find a simpler place and time. Oh yes, he did. And I'm gonna be with him on 'cause I would rather live in his world than live without him in mine. I'll be on that train, 'cause I would rather live in his world than live without him in mine. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. Thank you.